Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we took on the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round of the playoffs, and for the third straight year, we have lost in the first round, and I'm kind of worried about this team. I don't really know what the problem is. It may be because we don't have a great coach kind of anymore. Like, we do have a good coach, but he's really kind of struggled in the playoffs, so maybe he's not a good playoff coach, but as you can see, this is our current head coach in Gaspard Bourgeois. His contract actually ends this offseason, so I think we are going to probably try and replace him. He has a 66% scheme fit, but as you can see, he doesn't really work with like Shelly that well, and I really need Shelly to start scoring because Shelly has been really struggling the last 3 years in the playoffs. So if we find maybe a new head coach that works a little bit better with him and a lot of the other guys, maybe this team will be a little bit better in terms of the postseason. So we more likely are going to be changing up our coaching staff this offseason. Also, let's take a look at Shelly's stats in the playoffs because, like I said, they have been pretty abysmal. So as you can see, over his career, he's still a solid 50 to 60 point guy, but this year during the regular season, he only had 28 goals after having 3 straight 40 goal seasons, which is a big yikes in my opinion. And then in terms of the playoffs, as you can see, he scored 10 goals when we went all the way to the Cup Finals, but since then he's only scored 4 goals in the last 17 games, which is really not that good at all. So we just definitely need to find a coach that works better with him, and maybe that will help us have a better chance. Now, Shelly's already 25 years of age, so he's almost at that make or break point where he might just like cap out like at an 85, which would not be that good. He is listed as a third line scoring forward, so he actually might be a lower overall than an 85. He might be like an 83 only. So he might not develop much more than that, but he does have those good shooting categories, and that's why we signed him so long term. So hopefully we can get a good coach that works good with him and a lot of the other guys that are going to be here for long term, like Agostino and whatnot. Now, before we get into the draft and the resign stage, we do have a few comments to go over. So the first one is from Hawksbane88. He says, I would take Hornquist. A goalie going that high is probably elite. So the funny thing is actually also mentioned by Sandals is that we actually do have a low elite AHL backup goalie right now that has the last name Hornquist, and we more than likely are also going to be drafting this Marcus Hornquist guy, who is probably going to be an elite goalie. We can't really tell yet because we don't have him fully scouted, but we will have 2 Hornquist goalies in our system, which is kind of funny. This one probably will take a little bit longer to develop considering the fact that the other one's a 73 at 21 already. So it'd be kind of funny if at one point we have both these Hornquists as our NHL goalies. But yeah, we'll probably draft Hornquist just because we could always use more goaltending in our system. Also, I asked Alex if we should be changing our coach and stuff like that and what we should be doing in terms of contracts. And he says, I think a new coach would be a good idea. For contracts, you could definitely afford to let go of some defensemen, considering that Sasaki is ready for the NHL, which I agree with. Sasaki is pretty much right on the knob of being in the NHL. I think he's like a 79 now, if I'm not mistaken. And also, he has X factors. He's a low elite. So we definitely want to get him in as soon as possible. He's only 21 years of age as well. And yeah, listed as a top 6 defenseman. He actually had a lot of penalty minutes in the AHL. I didn't even realize that. Hopefully he's not that physical when he gets to the NHL. I mean, he does have truculence, so he might take a lot of penalties, but he's going to be a rock-solid defenseman on a penalty kill situation, I think. Very excited to see what he could do when he gets into our lineup. And as for moving out defenseman, I think we might try and trade away Sam Barukov, package him with somebody like Varlamov, who's not really going to crack our roster anymore. And then we would probably keep the rest of the defensive core the same. There's a chance we let go of Braden Schneider as well, considering he might ask for a decent amount of money, and he's not really doing much more than that. And obviously, Tukinen would be more into our top 4 defensive pairings. Moreira's definitely going to be let go of that type of thing. And then our final comment is from Cody Legaspi. He says, I would take the goalie in the first, and I think you should look for some veterans to help guide this younger team through the playoffs. Try and find a player via trade or free agency, possibly a defense and a forward, and replace Genther and Samorukov. I look for like an 85 plus D, someone who could help on the penalty kill and is defensively, or and is defensive, he probably means. So I don't really know if I'm going to be trading Genther still yet. I want to hold on to him at least till the start of the season. But we will probably have to move out some guys eventually at some point. Maybe like at the start of the season we'll make some trades. Because, for example, Philip Zadina is still making $9 million for the next 2 seasons, which is a bit expensive. So maybe there's a chance we could move him out at the start of the year. I might end up letting go of Braden Tracy as well and whatnot, just because we do have guys like Shishkinov who should be in the NHL, as well as guys like Anisimov who we should be playing. Varlamov, like I said, I think I might deal away in a Samorukov deal if I can, because he still has RFA rights, but he's not really getting anywhere in terms of our lineup. And then if we look at the right wing side, Gallagher is also probably going to be in the NHL next year. So I might have way more than enough players in the NHL for next season. And we'll probably have to make some moves then. Ladipov is also getting pretty close. DeMaio is going to be getting signed to his ELC, which means he's going to be playing in the AHL next year, which is nice. And yeah, our AHL team should be stacked again next year. And hopefully our NHL team could do pretty good as well. But anyways, those were the comments I had in last episode. So I think we're ready to get into the draft. Yeah, let's get into the draft and try and make a trade and get rid of Varlamov and Samorukov in a deal. Samorukov has 2 years left, so we can't just let him go to free agency. We actually have to try and trade him away. So we are going to find a trade with him. So where are you, Samorukov? His value is kind of dipped off. He's dropped back down to an 81. He's also listed as a top 6 defenseman. So yeah, he's not really worth the $4.6 million we're paying him. And can I do multiple players in the find trade thing? I don't remember if I can. I don't think so. Right? Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe I can. I'll still go find trade and see what we could get for Samorukov. So it looks like we could just get some players. I want just picks back, I think, for Samorukov, because unless there's something intriguing. Third and JT Compher, we wouldn't bring back Compher anyways. Third and a fifth. Yeah, I might just take picks back for Samorukov, to be honest. At third and a fourth from the Los Angeles Kings sounds good, but that's in our division. You know what, I'll send him to Florida just because I don't really send him to LA, even though those picks are the higher up of the picks probably. LA is probably in a spot that they want to be contending, and obviously we might play them in the playoffs at some point if that is the case. So I am going to trade him to Florida. Best of luck in Florida there, Samorukov, and thanks for playing here. So he has gone over to Florida. Kind of a sad move, and I also said I wanted to get rid of Varlamov, just because I can't really find a way to slot this guy into our lineup, and he deserves to get an opportunity somewhere else. And I think his value has probably dropped off a lot. Yeah, it has. Is there any trade offers for him? A fifth and a sixth, not too bad. We could get some picks back for him. Let's send him to Toronto. Why not? Even though I hate Toronto, we'll send Varlamov to Toronto just to give him an opportunity to crack into some team's lineup. So best of luck in Toronto, Varlamov. Sucks to let you go as well, but it had to happen just because Shishkinov kind of pushed him out to an extent. We signed this low lead undrafted guy, and he had an insane season in the AHL, and he looks like he's going to be a good player in the NHL level as well. So, yeah, I would rather be playing him instead. And then also there's guys, like I said, Anisimov and Gallagher who could also push him out. So, yeah, we have to kind of make some tough decisions with this team. And I think those are all the trades we are going to make because everybody else is probably the ones that we got let go of. So Ottawa's got first, Washington, New Jersey, Vegas, and Tampa Bay. Let's see the first 5 picks of this draft. The Sens are going to take Arkhipov, who's an 80 overall two-way defenseman. Not too bad. Only has a couple X factors, but still a pretty solid defenseman. The Caps at number 2 are going to take Robida, who's an 80 playmaker. So this draft class might not be that strong considering there's only 80 overalls going first overall. It's not like an 82 or an 83. So it might be a little bit of a weaker draft class. 79 offensive defenseman Ilya Fedorov goes to New Jersey. Interesting. The Vegas Golden Knights at number 4 are going to take DeFazio, who's a 74 medium elite grinder. That's going to be an interesting player to see how this guy pans out. Because maybe this guy's going to be a really good penalty killer for them in the future. But this guy's got a lot of X factors. He also has bounce back, so he doesn't get injured too much. That's an interesting player there for Vegas. And at number 5, Tampa is going to take a 74 medium elite in Sawatsky. So yeah, this draft class is definitely weaker in a sense. But who knows, maybe some of those guys will be really good players. So let's do our pick at 25. And frig, we can't get Hornquist. He just went to Toronto. Screw you, Toronto. We lose out on a medium elite 64 overall goalie that had X factors. Well, that really sucks, but I mean, we do have good goalies still in the system and whatnot, but that really sucks. I mean, we have a medium elite goalie in the NHL right now in Pettersson, but yeah, that really sucks. Toronto just stole our player that we wanted. But we could see what we could still get here. We could get a top 6 forward prospect, which I'm not opposed to, because we could always use some more forwards in the AHL. But yeah, that really sucks. Oh man, the computers always read our minds. I think I've had that happen before, where the computer just tells who I wanted to get. Who do we want to get? I think I might just go with Appleby because he's a guaranteed top 6. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Appleby here. What's his first name? Edward Appleby. This guy sounds like a British guy instead. He's got good shooting as well, which is kind of nice. So yeah, this guy might be a pretty solid prospect. 5'9", 176, and he almost has guaranteed X factors. He does have magnetic for sure, but he might have crease crasher as well, which would be pretty good. He's only 5'9", 176, so he's a pretty small dude. But welcome to the team, Edward Appleby. And our scouts have him ranked at 21, so he might be a pretty good player. He's a 65. Nice. 65 top 6. I will definitely take that. He does have make it snappy and magnetic, so no zone ability, but 2 superstar abilities, so I'll definitely take that. In the shooting category is pretty good out of the gate. 81s across the board. Everything else is kind of balanced. Definitely more of an offensive forward, so it should be interesting to see if he becomes like our next Sadikov, because Sadikov kind of came out of nowhere as well in terms of scoring goals. So hopefully that guy could become something down the road. There is a gem of a goalie in Karel Galliev who looks pretty good. This might be our goalie prospect that we draft, because even if he's a fringe starter, he might be like a 78 or something. Like 2 years out, maybe he's like a 75. Yeah, he's probably like a 75 fringe starter, but I think I'm going to take him. He had really good numbers in Russia. Not that it really matters about junior stats and whatnot. But Karel Galliev, we're going to take you since you're a gem of a goalie. Why not? You're a medium starter, 71 overall. Wow. Okay, I didn't expect him to be a medium starter. But 71 at 18 is really good. Like, this guy's already good enough to play in the AHL if we really want to get him into the AHL. But we don't really have... Well, we do have the room to play him in the AHL. We could always let go of, like, Wallstead, but I don't know if I really want to rush him. But he does have zone abilities as well, or not zone abilities, superstar abilities. Contortionist in last stand, so... Maybe there's our goalie of the future, who knows, or maybe a future backup. Let's see what we could get in the third round now. Jaden Irons, who plays for Spokane. Is there any guaranteed low leads around this stage or no? There's a medium elite goalie right there. Damn, this is a really good goalie draft, but this guy's a project goalie. He's 19, so he probably wouldn't really pan out. Any low leads still around this stage at number 67, or are we going to have to take somebody random? Looks like no guaranteed low leads. This Spalling guy looks pretty good. He is supposed to go at around 91, which means we might want to take him already. Yeah, we might end up taking this guy because he looks actually decent if his stats are accurate. It's guaranteed no weakness as well. You know, yeah, I think we're going to take this guy early, because he might actually be low lead. I don't know for sure, though. Carl Spalling, welcome aboard. I'm just going to take him anyways. And he's a low top 6 power forward, so not terrible. He does have okay attributes, but we'll see if he pans out. Our next pick in the third round as well, because apparently we have multiple thirds. Actually, let me take a look at just a defined trade option. I want to see if there's any trade offers for somebody like Zadina. I don't want to move Zadina just necessarily, but I just want to see what offers there is. There's no offers for him because he's getting overpaid. So I guess we'll have to hold on to him for now. Nicholas Lander, not terrible. Austin Popovic looks pretty decent, maybe. But he's 19, so he might be just a medium top 9 or a low top 9 that has good individual attributes. Nathan Black. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Popovic here. Even if he's 19, let's see what he is. He is a 66 medium top 6, so actually a lot better than I expected. Good potential, good overall. The only thing is he's 19 already, so it might take him a little bit to develop, but he might end up becoming something, who knows. I definitely will take that for a third round pick. We're only in the fourth round. I want to get this draft done as fast as possible because the contracts are going to be a little bit problematic probably on some of them. Emilio Sullivan, yeah, this draft class has dropped off a lot now. Like a 7th D going in the 4th round. Yikes. I might just go with Tilt since he looks like he might be a low top 6. Oh, there's a guaranteed medium top 6D, man. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Vince Arsene here. He's 20 years old, so he's probably not going to make it, but we'll still take him anyways. 59 at 20 is not good at all. Yeah, this guy's definitely not going to make it. So that was a bad pick, but it is what it is. You can't have good picks in every single round usually. So, Fabian Turner, another 20-year-old. Yeah, this draft class is not great. There's some decent players in it, like good goalies, it seems like, but a lot of it is not good. Any guys with maybe good potential? Brossois. Might be okay, but 5 years out. Troy Backus. Doesn't look really that good either. Yeah, this draft class is really terrible. What's this guy's name? Dale Denny. Does he look good? No. Maurice Goulet. Yeah, we're going to go with Maurice Goulet. Why not? Low top 9, 55 grinder. But yeah, this is not a really good draft class. Dennis Papin, 19 years old. I'm just going to auto-sim the rest of the draft. It's just a terrible draft, I think, or sim the next round. Who did they take us in round 6? They took, for us, Mr. Albergauer, who's a medium 7th. Okay. And that's the entire draft for us. And the computer got us in the 7th round, N-Cuff, whoever the heck that is. But kind of an interesting draft. I mean, I think our first round pick was pretty solid. I also think Popovic was okay. And then Spalling and Galliev. Galliev was an interesting one. Should be interesting to see if he actually could become that starting goaltender, considering he's a 71 at 18. So let's get into the re-sign stage now. And we are not going to be re-signing our head coach right now. We could always bring him back if he doesn't want too much. But for now, I'm not going to be bringing him back because I think we might need a new head coach to get Shelley to start scoring. Let's get our scouts back that are up for renewal because there was 2 of them. Hilda Lundqvist, and who was the other one? Mr. Wesley DeBoer. There you go. Okay, re-sign stage time. This is always the most interesting part probably of the off-season, considering we don't really make always a lot of free agent signings. So let's start off with our R phase. And how much cap space do we have? 30 million. That's not really a whole lot. I'm just going to qualify pretty much everybody that's in the AHL level right now just to kind of get them out of the way. Because I know they'll eventually accept for dirt cheap. But I still want to qualify them for now. And Semyonov, or not Semenov. Mayorov. Damn, we have so much Russians in the minors. It's actually kind of funny. So our Russian scout has been doing a really good job. Ortmeyer as well. He might actually be on the NHL cusp as well. Same with Koltsov, which is interesting. We will just qualify all those guys because they both still accept. And Isamov, what do you want? You want a 2-way deal. So the Isamov guy that we signed to over $1 million last year, he only wants a 2-way deal. So he might be just more of a depth option for us next season. But we are going to give him what he wants. Emil Schulz, what do you want? 1.9 is not too bad. I think I'll try a little bit less than that. Let's try and get you to 1.8 for 1 year. Because you might be on a 4th line. You might be playing in our lineup. Sapolvyov, I think, still wants 2-way. Yeah, he does. Good. McGillis, we are going to... that's actually a really good deal. I mean, he's a grinder, so he's never going to want too much, I don't think. But 3 years at 1.575, we could probably get him for a little bit less than that. Let's try 1.4 for 3 years, because that would be a steal for an 81, I think. Lawrence, what does he want? 1 year at 2.875. I will try and talk him down a little bit 1 year at 2.5, because he does put up a good amount of points when he plays with good players. And then Tukinen is one of the other RFAs. 4 by 4.625. It's a bit pricey, but he's only 23. Let's try and do 4 by 4.4. Test that out. And then Pedersen, he wants $7 million, so I think we're going to qualify him for now, just to get his asking price a little bit down. And then I will resign Wallstead for the AHL team, I think. Unsigned guys are okay, I think, for now. I could sign Galliev, but I'll leave that up to you guys if you want me to sign Karel Galliev for the AHL for next year. Because we could get him in already, but I don't know if he will develop fast enough or not. So that's good in terms of that. UFA-wise, this is where it's pretty important. So DeMaio is going to get an ELC for the AHL. We'll probably have to let go of some of these guys in the AHL, like Alberts. Yeah, I'm going to let go of Alberts for now. Free up some roster room down there. We are also going to sign Osgood, who's a low elite defenseman. I'd like to sign these 270s as well. We'll actually one them. Because this guy's 22 already, so I don't really think he's going to pan out. I mean, he could. I'm going to let him go, considering he's already 22. Penner, I'm going to sign up as well, considering he's a 70 at 20. We also have this medium elite and Rabbit. Damn, we have so much unsigned guys I want to sign, but we don't have a lot of contract space. Well, let's let go of a couple more of these guys, because most of these guys aren't going to pan out. Low top 6, 68 at 19 is pretty good. So we'll sign him up as well. 65 at 20 is not bad. He was a second round pick, but I really don't know. I don't think we really have the space down there in the AHL. I'll wait for now, I think. I just need to see who we have to let go of in the NHL. So I think I'm going to let go of definitely Josh Mahura. He was a rental pickup. Really didn't do that much with us, and yeah, I'm going to let him go just because obviously Sasaki's close to the NHL, so let him go. Braden Schneider's another one I think I'm going to let go as well for now, but we could always bring him back. He's a solid defensive defenseman, probably doesn't really want too much money. Now he wants $3 million, that's a little bit expensive. I'm going to let him go for now, but we might bring him back. Barrett Hayden's going to come back. He wants 7.2, which is a bit pricey. So I'm going to just give him a 1-year deal and see if he'll accept like 6.7. I'd like to bring back Noah Dobson as well for 1 year while we get Sasaki developing. Because Sasaki will probably be in our top 4, not next season, but the season afterwards. So let's try 1 year at 4.9 for Dobson. And then for Tracy... I don't know if we can keep Tracy. I would really like to keep Braden Tracy because he puts up good points. But his plus minus isn't terrible. It's not bad either. Or not good either. Yeah, I think I'm going to let go of Braden Tracy for now. We could always bring him back. But right now wise, I think I'm going to let him go because like Shishkinov might be pushing him out of the lineup, to be honest. So we're going to let go of Tracy for now, but we might bring him back. And then Stuart Skinner as well, we're going to let go of for now as well, I think, just because he didn't play good in the playoffs. Because I want to make sure we have the right amount of players first and foremost. So let's advance today and see if we get all those guys back first. But yeah, basically we are going to be making a decent amount of changes to our roster this season. Lawrence is the only RFA that didn't accept so far. And I think that's it pretty much, yeah. And then also we need Pedersen still back technically. What does Lawrence want? Let's just give him what he wants. And then we'll be down to $12 million in cap space, which was not really a whole lot. We're still right up against the cap. Do I have the contract space to get Lindros for the AHL? I don't really know if I need to. You know what? We're going to let him go. I don't think I have the space really to put him in because we do have guys that will be free agents next year if we do that. And then these guys are all qualified, which is good. Let's advance today, see if we get Lawrence, and we get him. So we have $12 million in cap space. All these guys are still left to sign, which means once Pedersen signs, it's probably going to be like down to like $8 million in cap space, which is not really a whole lot. I definitely want Pedersen to come back because he's obviously an elite goalie, but he didn't really play that good in the playoffs, so I don't want to be paying him $7 million. But yeah, I think that's it for contracts, right? Yep, that's good. Okay, so we are good in that. Let's advance all the way to free agency now and see what our roster has so far for players and how much contract spaces we got, all that type of thing. Okay, so Ariel Ortmeyer also accepts, and yeah, we did not bring back our head coach because we're going to look at some new options for head coach as well when we look at the free agent pool. Well, let's take a look at what we got for our roster right now with 12 million in cap space. So Right now we have these 4 centers: Geeky, Hayton, Farinacci, Sopolyov's probably depth or maybe in the AHL, I don't know. We also have Agostino, Zadina, Genther, Lawrence, McGillis, Schulz, Shishkinov, and maybe Nisimov. So that is 5, 8, 12. And then, yeah, we are still at like 15 players. So some of these guys might be used as depth options. I'd like to get Gallagher in because I believe, yeah, he has good offensive awareness, solid shooting. I'd like to get him into the NHL if we can. So, yeah, some of these guys might be depth options. Like, I think Anisimov is a depth option considering he's 25 already. And then we'll have to try and figure out, probably Sopolyov would be one. So I think we don't really need much in terms of forwards in free agency, unless we want to make trades. Defensively, we'd be running Chicker and Soderstrom, Dobson and Tukinen, and then Sasaki with, I guess, whoever we sign. Yeah, I guess we'd have to sign maybe a defenseman, so we could bring back Braden Schneider for that top 6 pairing if we want to, but it might cost us like $3 million. And then goalie-wise, obviously we're going to have Pedersen back considering he's an RFA right now, but he will accept eventually. And then we'd need a backup goalie still. Wallstead would probably be playing in the AHL with Hornquist. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I don't really know if we need to sign too much except for a couple defensemen. Like, we definitely need one for our roster and one as a depth defender, I'd say. So somebody on the top 6 to play with Sasaki. So he's defensively minded, so maybe somebody that's more like two-way. I don't really know. Let's take a look at what's available in free agency, and then we'll take a look at some coaching options to see if there's any new coaches that we could get out there that work with our team better. So let me just show you guys what's all available for in terms of free agents for UFAs. So we don't need any forwards really, but I still will show you guys the forwards anyways. A lot of solid names out there. Looks like at least. Left wing wise, Jonathan Huberdeau is the biggest one, and also JD Miller's up there, and Jason Robertson. Yeah, definitely some good names out there for forwards. Like I said, we could bring Tracy back, but I don't really know if we need him because we do got a lot of players. He wants $3 million, so he's a bit expensive. This LaRose guy's a UFA, interesting, 81 top 6, and he's only 24. Bob LaRose, he was a former first rounder. He's got 99 offensive awareness. Really good at passing. Interesting. You put him next to a guy that could shoot the puck like Shelley. That might be a good combination. Not that we need forwards really, but that's an interesting player. Very interesting. So if we are going to sign a forward, he would be definitely the option to do that. And we could send Varlamov to the AHL probably if we wanted to do that. But we don't have a whole lot of cap space, like I said. And then right wing wise, a lot of veterans mostly. Our former player and Zion Nybeck, who never made the NHL because we traded him away for Lawrence, so definitely we won that trade. That's good. And then defensively, if we want to bring in a defenseman, there is some solid ones out there for the top 4, but I'd more likely want a top 6 one to play with Sasaki, unless we wanted to put Tukinen back down to the top 6 pairings, but I don't really want to do that. But there's good veterans like Morgan Riley, Jamie Alexiak, Brian Dumoulin, Artem Zub. Obviously, he's a really good defensive defenseman in real life, but I don't know if he simulates good in this game. But that's pretty much it for defenders. And then goalie-wise, not that we need goalies, but I'll show you anyways. Gavin Bjorklund's the best one. Swayman's back in free agency. Hugo Lenefelt, a couple of former goalies of ours. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Skinner, obviously, we just dropped. Interesting. So those are the free agents. And then finally, let's take a look at the coaches that are available. And we'll also take a look at the trading block. And then I'll be it for this episode, because we could make some trades in the next episode, depending on what you guys think. So let's take a look at some head coach options. And we don't have a lot of budget to work with, so we want to find somebody that's relatively cheap. Right now, the team fit won't be that good, so maybe we'll have to wait till the start of the season to find ourselves a coach. But for right now, we want to find somebody that works well with Shelley, especially, as well. 0% team fit, what the heck? Damn, those are AHL coaches. Yeah, we might have to wait till the start of the season to see this a little bit more realistically. But let me take a look at this again. 44, 50, 51, 54. This guy might end up being the best option. I don't know, but he doesn't work super well with Farinacci. We want them to work well with our top 6 forwards especially. So yeah, we might have to wait to the start of the season to find ourselves a new coach. I think. Because a lot of these guys aren't great. Okay, this guy might be good. 53% team fit. He works well with all the guys that are listed on the side. Like, the worst is Soderstrom, but that's still like halfway. He works way better with Shelley than the other coach did. So, yeah, this guy might be our option. Has he been an NHL coach for his entire career or just an AHL coach? He's been an AHL coach, okay. But what was I looking at? B- on offense, C on defense, B- power play, A on penalty kill, C- in teaching, B- in coaching influence. I don't really like his attributes, but he might work the best with our coach. We could always wait till the start of next season if we wanted to bring him in. But yeah, that's a potential coach option right there. And final thing, let's take a look at the trading block just to see if there's any potential things that we could do in terms of trades for next episode. So Ethan Bear is available, but making $7 million. Jeez. Why is he making $7 million bucks? That's a bit of an overpayment, and he's playing for the Bruins, which is kind of funny considering obviously they had a bear as their logo at one point. Yeah, I think it could be because of the 45 points he had last year, but still, that's a lot of money. $7 million? Jeez. Panarin with 1 year left. That's a really good forward, obviously, but I don't think we really have the use for Panarin. He does fit our top line, which is interesting. Domi there, Logan Brown, Troy Stetcher, and Shane Gostisbehere. Kevin LeBlanc is on the block. Some prospects. Actually, this guy's an 83. Oh, it's a goalie. Interesting. Not that we really need another goalie to trade for, but we could sign a goalie as our backup. Actually, I forgot that we needed a backup goalie. But obviously, I don't really want to trade for one. I would probably sign one of those goalies we were looking at instead. Bemstrom's on the block. Stroman, Frost, not too bad. Iafallo, Bach, and Cahoon. Cahoon back in Edmonton. Anybody else? Joel Eriksson Ek, but 3 years left. At $8 million is a bit expensive for a 32-year-old. A couple defensemen in Butcher and Pedersen. Nashville's got nothing. Stone, so another goalie that's not going to get signed probably. I don't know. Sharon Govich and Savoy. So some really good forwards on the block, but I don't really think we have any use for forwards. We could always bring some of these guys in because we do have the prospects we could give up. Colin White, 87 at 32, not too bad. With 1 year left, but $7 million in cap hit. Like I said, we don't have really a whole lot of cap flexibility. A couple defensemen in Seattle, Fleury, Gouli, and Lindell. Not bad. All of them have multi-years except for Lindell. But $4 million is a bit pricey for an 80. He'd be a solid pairing to put, probably like a good shutdown pairing alongside Sasaki. But it doesn't look like he fits our top 6. And like I said, that cap hit is a bit expensive. Kravtsov, pretty good player. Vesalainen with 1 year left. And Suter. Tampa's got nothing really. Toronto's got Rasmus Anderson on the block. Hoaglander's on the block with 1 year left. Kostin. Vasiliev, who's the guy that could just crack into the NHL soon. Interesting. Nothing in Vegas, nothing in Washington. And in Winnipeg's got DeBrusk, Velarde, Heinola. Not too bad in Vinny Heinola. And Dursey. Dursey and Heinola, one of the two of those guys would work well in the top 6 pairing probably. Because Heinola's only got 1 year left and he's not making a whole lot. Fits all of our defensive pairings as well. So Heinola might be the best option to be that defensive pairing partner that we get for Sasaki. Or we could go with Sean Dursey, who fits our penalty kill. Not that great defensively. He's an OFD though. And in Heinola's two-way. So maybe Heinola's the type of guy we want to bring in for that top 6 pairing. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So next episode, we will take it to free agency. We might bring in another couple defensemen and obviously a backup goalie. And maybe we'll make some trades depending on what you guys think this team should do. So let me know what you think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.